Yeah, sorry about this. Doesn't work. Doesn't work now?
Yes.
Okay. In what way do you think that eventually the ramifications of the Apostolidis case will be harmful? Well, my view is that nobody's forcing any... Okay.
The reason why I'm saying this is because I'm trying to understand...
Microphone, please.
I'm trying to understand the legal basis upon which this European Court of Human Rights or Justice made this decision in the Dimopoulos case. I cannot really understand...
Talking about the Apostolidis case, you said that the
No, but there is a correlation between the two cases, because I feel that Mr. Apostolidis was successful with his case, based on a similar principle that the Dimopoulos case is. That's my feeling.
No.
Shall I? Well, okay, if that is the case, why do we have to apply to the IBC? For instance, if Mr. Apostolidis was asked to do this, would you confirm that would be...
Okay, it's a technical point. I mean, Mr. Apostolidis applied to the courts of the Republic of Cyprus based on the laws of the Republic of Cyprus. It was a civil action. It has nothing to do, he did not claim damages for the violation of his human right to property. Whereas Mr. Dimopoulos was doing exactly that. He did not do what Mr. Apostolidis was doing. He was claiming damages for the violation of his human right to property. It's a completely two different sets of laws.
So basically what you're saying is, if I am to follow Mr. Apostolidis' case and process,
yeah,
I wouldn't have to apply to the IBC.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of people ask questions. Thank you for the question. Can we have one, one response, please?
In answer to your question, Mr. Christophidis, it's very simple, I think. Although everything that goes on in the occupied area is illegal, the reason that the Dimopoulos case went the way it did was because of the point I mentioned earlier, that Turkey de-recognised the TRNC. Although this property commission is physically based in Nicosia, the court makes it clear, and Turkey's made it clear, that it's seen as a remedy of Turkey. And what Turkey does within Turkey is not illegal. So that's the point. The second point, though, which ties in with your second question, is the only way that you can demonstrate the illegality, or that's perhaps the wrong word, the only way you can demonstrate how useless this property commission is to actually prove it. You have to go there to get a remedy which isn't going to satisfy you, to show that it's not working. The alternative is to do nothing. If you do nothing, then the Turks can sit back and say, well, we've got this remedy, we think it works, but these Greeks don't want to use it. You haven't tested the point.
Thank you. Gentleman over here, you want to ask a question? Yes, gentleman there's going to stand up for one, please. Could you use the microphone, please?
Very nice presentation.
Could you use the microphone, please? So everyone can hear you. Thank you.
It was a very nice presentation. I just wonder if you have heard from the internet that 3 Cypriots are suing in America the Turks for $200 billion. Any comments? Will they impact on you?
Yes, we're aware of that case. I'll put your questions to Nick, shall I?
The lawyer who's bringing that case is called Athanas Simbelius, and he was actually going to try to join us this evening from America. He wasn't able to, relatively late in the day. In America, the action he's bringing is an action that's it's very different to this action, but under American law there is a way that you can bring an action, a class action, against people who are infringing the rights of American citizens overseas. And that's how he's bringing the action. It's a very, very different action. In America you can do whatever you like in the courts, you can get away with anything. The case is going very, very well, and he's wanting to encourage other people to join the action. He's not trying to make more money from it, it's just that the more people you've got in the case, the stronger that case is. It's just yet another example of individuals who feel aggrieved by what's happened to them, taking it upon themselves to try and assert their belief in rule of law, because the politicians ain't doing it for them.
That's a really important point, and if we go back to what was happening to the Jews in the 30s, they didn't have this opportunity. People now have these opportunities, and they should be grasped in appropriate circumstances. The other point, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the Cyprus Mail. Any agreement that is concocted in Cyprus, I would argue, must surely be subject to possible judicial review. If it is ultra vires the EC treaty, that means if it's incompatible with the EC treaty, EU law, and if it's incompatible with the European Convention of Human Rights. But gone are the days when politicians could concoct deals behind closed doors and implement them without fear of being taken to court. It's difficult, I know, but in certain circumstances it's possible to bring judicial proceedings against governments. It happens all the time in this country, and it might happen in the future if there's an unacceptable settlement concocted behind closed doors and presented to the public. I didn't think of that in 2004. I didn't think about bringing judicial review proceedings or trying to challenge it. The advantage we have now, which we didn't have back in 2004, is we have the European Court of Justice as an additional court to which we can apply in certain circumstances to seek a remedy or an injunction, as the case may be. And this is the other importance of the Apostolidis case. Until now, we've had the Loizidou case, the Cyprus and Turkey case, that have all gone to the European Court of Human Rights. The Dimopoulos case is part of that sequence. The Apostolidis case is different because not only did it involve the Court of Appeal here in London, but the European Court of Justice in Europe, in the European Union. And it establishes the precedent that we have this additional court to go to in certain circumstances to protect rights, at least in relation to EU law matters.
Thank you. I'll just add the US case was another example that a law has been created. The problem there was suing Turkey over state immunity issues. And there was a recent case regarding Air France which allowed and loosened that test and allowed these individuals to take Turkey through the US court. So again, the lawyers earning their keep. I would say that, of course. Right, another question, please. Lady here.
Thank you. We have friends in the audience who have heard you all speak for the first time, who are not Greek Cypriot, who have lost property. And I would just like one of you please to clarify the difference in an action where the properties are occupied by a European citizen who has property elsewhere in Europe, or by a Turkish settler or a Turkish Cypriot. What are the differences in the actions, please?
I'll put that to Konstantis.
Okay, basically the distinction is not between EU citizens and anyone else. The distinction I make is between people who have property within the European Union. For example, it could be a Turkish settler who miraculously has a flat in Mayfair. Okay, then you can go after him. So it's not a distinction between EU citizens and non-EU citizens. Now, about Turkish Cypriots, yes, I'm worried, and I think the possible outcome would be that should these sort of negotiations fail, I think we'll see Greek Cypriots suing Turkish Cypriots in the courts of the Republic of Cyprus and then going after their property in the unoccupied areas. I mean, this is the inevitable outcome, I think.
Thank you. Any questions over here? Start with Kyriakos first, and then the lady behind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to about 10 o'clock. I think after these couple of questions, we'll have a quick sweep up and try and get to 10 o'clock because it's getting late. So if we can make the questions as short as possible.